special, a Thanksgiving special show today. And I'm not going to get involved with all this rhetoric of what I have to be thankful for and my past and my future and my present and what I'm involved with doing here in the Philippines. I'm just going to say a few things that I do have to be thankful for this year is that Dr. Michael Fazio, MD, physician heal thyself, Mr. Apothecary himself, Mr. Voodoo, medicine man, has healed his own leg. That's something I have to be thankful for, because for 11 months my leg was in limbo with some sort of infection at 12 doctors, 3 visits to 3 different hospitals, and a culture and 2 blood tests would not reveal the nature of the infection in my leg. Although you hear stories that I'm too cheap to go to the doctors, I visited 12 doctors in the Philippines, 3 of them in hospitals. 1 took a culture, 2 took blood tests. Nobody could diagnose what was wrong with my leg. And also, I will add that 2 doctors from America were sent videos, and the pictures of the wounds themselves, and nobody could figure out what the problem was. Nobody could figure out what type of infection I had based on the videos I sent them and the culture that was taken from the infectious fluid showed no results from any type of known infections in the Philippines. Now, I'm going to tell you something else at the same time. Many foreigners come to the Philippines and get some sort of rare skin infection or rash or even life-threatening infections in their bodies, more specifically their legs, the lower extremities, and no doctor has been able to predict what it is or how to cure it. Now, that you might find unbelievable, but we have regular laboratories here. They're state-of-the-art laboratories. They go through the processes of known diseases and known infections, and no one came up with my culture. The culture came back as nothing known to the Philippines doctors or hospital or to the laboratory. Now, I know a German fellow who's a friend of my landlord whose house I lived in next door. He had an infection in his leg so bad that they were talking about amputating his leg in the Philippines. And he said, no way, I'm going back to Germany. And when he went back to Germany, without any real medical treatment other than a diagnosis that they couldn't figure out what it was, without any real medical treatment to cure the problem, his leg infection went away. And the same thing happened to me. I had an infection on my foot from spatter from a welding accident, and Daisy also used the same welding rod, had spatter from that same 50-pound box of welding rod, and she had an infection on her ankle. And when we went to the doctors about that, they had no idea what it was or why it was or how to cure it. Now, hers went away in a few months. Mine took 3.5 years. And that was constantly cleansing and dressing the wound. So there are things that occur to people in the Philippines that have no rationale to what happens. So I have to be thankful for 6 weeks ago, I made an executive decision as Dr. Michael Fazio, physician, heal thyself, medicine man, voodoo magic, Dr. Michael Fazio, and of course, apothecary Michael Fazio, to stop taking one of 7 antibiotics, to stop putting on silver sulfadiazine cream, to stop using mupirocin gel on my wounds because it wasn't helping. And I said to myself, well, I've taken antibiotics much longer than you're supposed to, which was like 10 months. I've taken doses much higher than you're supposed to take. The doctors tried to, to cure it by giving me 1 extra pill a day. That didn't work. So 6 weeks ago, I decided to stop taking the medicine. It's no, not 6 weeks ago. It's 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, I decided to stop taking the medicine, just before November 1st. And now, if I were to show you my leg now, you would see some open wounds, but scabbed. No more bleeding lesions or no more fluid leaking from the wounds. Now, I will make a special live stream about that when it's 1 month, or when it's 1 month and a few days from the time I stopped taking antibiotics and stopped putting the cream on. And then I think the antibiotics messed up my body's natural immune system to fight off the infection. And when I stopped taking the antibiotics, the body said, okay, we'll take over now, whatever does that taking over. And it took over, and the wounds are mostly gone from even 4 weeks ago. So, but I will make a special presentation about the wounds on my legs, because today's dissertation and conversation is about a creepy blogger on YouTube who just won't stop. That's basically what it's about. And an hallucination that I've had during the waking state about the Mayan calendar and a horsefly with giant teeths. Now, this horsefly has huge teeths, and that's what today's dissertation is about, an amplification of giant teeths on a little horsefly, kind of like the movie The Fly with the human head on the horsefly. But this hallucination, which of course is fictional, is an hallucination of giant teeths. So the horsefly has a horsefly body, but the horsefly has no head. It just has giant teeths like that, which is really a set of teeth, an impression of my teeth from my most recent visit to the dentist, which was yesterday. I had a cap and a crown done, and he gave me the impression, and this is the temporary filling. So all the rest of the teeth are real. I am missing one over here. And I inquired about a price for a post, an implant, and I don't think I'm going to do it, but I will tell you about the prices of dental work in the Philippines. Since the year 2014, the prices of dental work have doubled, exactly doubled. Everything. Every cost in 2014 when I arrived here, 500 pesos for a teeth cleaning from virtually any dentist is now 1,000. If you wanted a tooth pulled, and only because I asked about it, it was 1,000 pesos in 2014, but if you want a tooth pulled in today's world, it's 2,000 pesos. So it went from $10 to $20 for cleaning, $20 to $40 to have a tooth pulled. Now, I didn't have any tooth pulled, but that's what it costs. Now, in addition, what was the price of an implant at 35 or 40,000 pesos, or 800 plus dollars in 2014, has now the minimum price for an implant in Cebu. They don't do implants in Bohol, but the minimum price is 80,000 pesos, or $1,600. That's the minimum price. So it went from 800 to 1,600, but some of them are $2,500. Now I'm not going to spend $2,500 for an implant. I'll live without that tooth that's missing in this. In this. So that's the only tooth up on the top of my mouth that's missing from the impression that they made. And this is the temporary filling. They put the permanent filling in yesterday, and for a cap and crown that I would have paid $200 for in 2014, because I had one in 2014 and paid $200. Now it's $400. So it went from 10,000 to just under 20,000 pesos. So I think that's pertinent information about the cost of dental work in the Philippines, because that's across the board. It doesn't matter if you call up a dentist or you go into any dentist office. The ones that I went into, they have a chart. You say, how much is it for a cap and crown? And they show you the chart. And it doesn't matter if you have 2 roots or 3 roots in your tooth. This dentist was 9,500 pesos, just under $200 for the deadening of the root and the preparation of the tooth for the crown. And then, no, it was 10,000 pesos to deaden the root and to prepare the tooth for the crown, and 9,500 pesos for the crown. So it was 19,500 pesos for the preparation of the tooth and the crown itself, which I now have a permanent crown that they estimate will last somewhere between 4 and 5 years. It could last longer, and if you start chewing on nuts and pistachio nut shells, then that's not going to last that long. But I don't eat nuts anymore. The great Scott Del Fuego said nuts are not part of my diet. I'm a carnivore now, pretty much, 95%. So that's my dissertation on the medical aspect of it. But now let's talk about this hallucination, this waking hallucination I have about this horsefly with giant teeth. So basically, it's the body of a horsefly, and then these giant teeth appear. Now maybe the horsefly hallucination is because I've had 9 visits to the dentist to get this work done. So let me read a little bit about waking hallucinations. And when I say waking, it's not like right now I'm having a hallucination. I don't have hallucinations when I'm in a lucid state of consciousness. Simply, it happens just before you fall asleep. You'll have a very visual vision of something. And I have a vision of a horsefly, the body of a horsefly with giant teeth like this. So I'm going to show you what the definition of a horsefly, what it looks like, and I'm going to show you the definition of waking hallucinations just prior to sleep. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the page that says, where's that? We don't need this on here. Let's go to the page that says the word hypnagogic hallucinations. Hypnagogic hallucinations also refers sometimes to waking dreams. They are a type of hallucination that occurs as the person is drifting off to sleep. In general, hallucinations involve seeing, hearing, feeling, or smelling something that isn't actually present. Now, we're going to have a creepy blogger who has called for the death of multiple vloggers on the YouTube Philippines vlogging genre over the years because he has the negative hallucinations about terrible things happening to the bloggers. Although it's not real, inside his mind, that's the type of thing that the creepy blogger on YouTube hallucinates about. But these hypnagogic hallucinations are not a form of mental illness, as you might think. Although mental illness might take place under a different name, these types of visual hallucinations are vivid, visual, auditory, tactile, or even kinetic perceptions that, like sleep paralysis, occur during the transitions between wakefulness and REM sleep. Includes sensation of impending threat. That is what the creepy bloggers on YouTube, they have these sensations of impending threats against them, and they feel that they have to lash out by wishing harm on other bloggers. Even though their hallucinations are not real, this is what's going on inside their mind, which is completely different than what goes on within inside my mind of nothing more than a giant horsefly. Where is that horsefly picture? Oh, we have to find the horsefly picture, which is giant horsefly with giant teeth. So let me find, I have to find in my history, I have to find, I had a giant horsefly picture. It's in the it's in the history. Yep, we're gonna have to look that up again. Hold on a minute. I have to find this picture of a horsefly. Okay, so let's look up horsefly. HORS, horsefly pictures. And then I can give you a better idea of what a horsefly picture. Okay, so we have a horsefly picture here. Let's get this picture up. Hold on a minute. I'll have that picture up in a moment. We have a couple of trolls here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Thanksgiving. And thanks for stopping by. Happy Thanksgiving. And you're out of here. Hide user on the channel. There goes Mr. Brothers, this, that, and the other thing. And there goes Ben's Rice Cooker. Hide the person on it. Go start another channel. Have a nice Thanksgiving. And, of course, you're always welcome to come here and say those things in person. I can't stop you from doing that. So let's go back to the horsefly picture. Where are we here? Picture of a horsefly. So here is a picture of a horsefly, and this is my vision. This has been my my vision. Just look at this picture. Oh my God! Now look at this picture, right here, and I don't know if we can expand this. Let's see. Can we make that bigger? Yeah, we can make that bigger. Not much bigger. Okay, so this is what the horsefly looks like. And then picture the horsefly with a giant set of teeth on its head. Look, see? Oh, well, we lost that. We lost the horsefly. We got to get back to the horsefly. Yeah, let's look at this. Look at that horsefly. Look at them teeth. Look at those teeth. And the horsefly. And this is what my waking just before I go to sleep, the visualization I have before I go to sleep of a horsefly, but it's more than just a horsefly with giant teeth. What it is this horsefly right here, right there, this horsefly there. Picture that horsefly with these giant teeth, like this. Picture the horsefly with the giant teeth on none other than a Mayan calendar. Let's see if we can find the Mayan calendar. What the heck? What is this one? Hallelujah. Oh, the volcano. Okay, so let's picture the horsefly. Let's minimize this. Hold on a minute. I have another thing there I don't want anybody to see. Okay, and I don't want you to see this for sure. Okay, and I don't need you to see that. Let's go back to the... Uh-oh. Let's see what happened here. History, 20 tabs. I closed 20 tabs by mistake. Luckily, you didn't get to see all of those tabs. Anyway, so let's open this one and close that one. Let's close that one. Let's go to the Mayan calendar. Okay, so this horsefly, you got to picture this now. Let's go to the Mayan calendar right here. This Mayan calendar that you see before you has a horsefly with giant teeth. Oh, let's go back here. I don't know what that is. Okay, hold on a minute. We got to get to the horsefly, the Mayan calendar. Boy, this is tough to do these live streams. They're really hard to do, these live streams. Okay, so I got it now. I'm going to have to move the mouse out of the way. So picture on this Mayan calendar these giant teeth attached to a horsefly, right? And the horsefly on the Mayan calendar, this is the Mayan calendar itself. On the Mayan calendar, the horsefly is moving around on the calendar. And where is the horsefly moving to? Well, all around the outside in my waking dream, all around the outside are chairs. That's right, chairs. C-H-A-I-R-S, chairs, all around this calendar. And the horsefly is jumping around on the chairs, different chairs. And then music starts to play. Music from the chairs, the celestial music of the chairs is playing on the Mayan calendar. And on the back of the chairs are different words. One word is the word secret. And so the horsefly will jump onto the chair that says secret, and then the calendar will spin around, and the horsefly will be sitting on a different chair that says NBI. And then the music stops and then starts again, and the chair goes to none other than cybercrimes on the back of the chair. And then the horsefly gets a little dizzy and his teeth fall out, and then the horsefly jumps to the chair that's not moving and there's no music coming from it, and it says January 10th. So that means, to me, January 10th is a staple between the NBI, cybercrimes, and the musical chairs. However, when the music stops on January 10th and the horsefly flies over to the musical chair that says January 10th on it, well, then what happens is the music starts again. And then the horsefly has to go to a different chair that doesn't have music on it, because he thinks, the horsefly is now thinking, is a rational horsefly. He's thinking if the chair that doesn't have the music on it is the real chair. We don't know which chair is the real chair, because each chair has different words on it. One chair has the words NBI. Another chair has cybercrimes. Another one has January 10th. And another one, the one that's not speaking music, it speaks music, the words come out of the chair, is The Secret. So there's a secret, there's a chair that says NBI, there's a chair that says cybercrimes, and there's a chair that says January 10th. And the horsefly has to rotate around on these chairs, hoping that once the horsefly stops on a chair, that the music will stop, and the secret of which chair is the real chair. Will the real chair please stand up? But chairs can't stand up. So which chair is correct? And that is one of the problems when you have a horsefly on a Mayan calendar and the chairs are musical in nature. These are all what they call, go back to the words, this all happens in this hypnagogic hallucinations, sleep foundation. Hallucination example is hypnagogia, a mental illness. Let's click on that. These hallucinations aren't a symptom of mental illness. Experts don't know exactly what causes them, but they know they are not a cause for concern. Unless they are negative, which doesn't get involved. This is a different page. They are simply that something your brain might do during the process of falling asleep. However, on another page, it says that if your hallucinogenic, hypnagogic hallucinations are all of a negative nature, like, for instance, there was a creepy blogger that mentioned he doesn't know how the yellow man hasn't been attacked physically in the Philippines because the yellow man makes people laugh. That was on today's show. Now, that's a very negative mental state of consciousness, or mental state of deprived mental acuity. The yellow man makes people laugh. The creepy blogger can't make people laugh. So the bottom line is jealousy, that the creepy bloggers on YouTube are jealous of the yellow man who make people laugh. Therefore, they lash out that the yellow man should be harmed by the people he makes laugh in the Philippines. But that's a topic for another day. Right now, what we're talking about is a picture of this fly with these teeth moving around on the Mayan calendar, and from one musical chair to the other. And that's what's going on here today. So if you don't understand what's going on here yet, well, I can't help you with that. Now, there are some other things I wish to talk about. This creepy bloggers on YouTube, what they want to happen, see, my hallucinations are all comedic in nature. But this creepy blogger's channel is all about negativity. Negativity. If you could review his negative videos, or its negative videos, he wants terrible things to happen to Pinoy Troll. He wants terrible things to happen to Roberto. He wants terrible things to happen to Dave Phelps. He wants terrible things to happen to the yellow man. He has another name. He calls the yellow man the pustule man. He will never say that to anybody's face, because deep inside there is more yellow in the creepy bloggers. Where there should be a spine, there is more yellow where there should be a spine than you could imagine. It's a very bright streak of yellow. It's so yellow, it's like a neon yellow that flashes. Yellow, no spine, yellow, no spine, yellow, no spine, yellow, yellow, no spine. Although he lashes out at people like Barry Jordan, Big Kevin, Dave Phelps, Roberto, Michael Fazio, the pustule man, he calls Michael Fazio the the tumor man. He has another name. All of these are negative, very negative hallucinations because of some inadequacy in the creepy blogger's makeup. Now that's what's really going on here. There is so much inadequacy in the creepy blogger's genetic makeup that he lashes out in a hateful manner towards the greats on YouTube. The great Roberto Dunn, the great Big Kevin, the great Dave Phelps, the great Barry Jordan, the great Michael Fazio, the great Scott Del Fuego. He lashes out at these people in a negative manner because he lacks any kind of physical stature. And now he's getting a little bit more cocky because supposedly he's coming back to the Philippines and he's going to hire a ganglia of lawyers, and he's going to start putting people in jail and getting them evicted from the Philippines because of this newfound wealth. So his mental acuity is lacking more and more on a daily basis, and his mental acuity to keep in touch with reality is also lacking more and more on a daily basis because his hate is now a self-consuming entity within his own persona, and his hate is like a black hole where his heart should be, and it's enfolding inward on himself via the negativity of his nature, and it gets worse on a daily basis. He actually physically said, I don't know why the yellow man hasn't been harmed physically after he makes comedic gestures towards the Philippines people. And then he went on with some diatribe as how the Philippines don't understand American humor. Well, I will tell you, as the yellow man, no one in 7 years has ever gotten upset. They sometimes don't understand because they don't understand the words, but no one has ever become violent with me. So the violence that the negative YouTube Philippines vlogging genre creepy channel vlogger makes is an outward impression of his twisted inner world. But in reality, no one has ever raised their voice or in any kind of anger lashed out at me for making them laugh. They may not understand it, but they've never been negative. So the negativity comes from inside the creepy, negative YouTube blogger's mind. It's not a reality, just like the rest of his reality is not a reality. That he will go on a YouTube channel and hide his face and says, because people want to listen to my words, they don't want to see my face. That's not the truth. The truth is that he knows that if he puts his face in 95% of his videos, he can be held accountable for facial recognition and voice recognition of hate speech, and the NBI and cybercrimes would be very happy to use those videos. So he hides his face and then says, that's not my video, it's not my channel, it's not my face, it's not my voice. That is the truth as to why he hides his face. Aside from the possibility that maybe his teeth are out being repaired, or in a glass of water with some Pepsodent in the water, cleansing the human that he calls human or curry powder that he puts on his teeth for some reason to make them yellow. He has a million excuses, but the reason his face doesn't appear in the videos is not because he wants people to listen to his voice. The reason is so that his face can't be recognized as per se his persona, real life person, to the offices of the NBI and cybercrimes and other legal institutions. That's the truth. Now, whether or not you want to believe that or not, it's up to you. Just like you can believe that people lash out at me when I make fun of some of the things I make fun of in the Philippines. It mostly makes people laugh. So you've never seen anybody get upset with me in any video and anywhere I go. If I walk onto a construction site, everybody's laughing when I leave. No matter where I go, whatever I do, as far as a comedic nature, people laugh. However, the creepy channel or the creepy blogger's channel on YouTube, he's not able to make people laugh because of his insecurities to talk to people, number one, his insecurities to move around the Philippines on a one-on-one basis with anybody because he's an insecure person. He has nothing to offer. He knows he has nothing to offer, or he believes he has nothing to offer. So he is insecure, and he doesn't believe he can make people laugh. So his forte is to hate and to cause mental pain and suffering to other bloggers with his mouth full of rotten teeth. That's the truth. So let's go back to my channel and see what's going on there for the comments. I have to turn this around. Yeah, his truth and my truth and the truth are all different things, by the way. But he has no face in his videos because he knows that if he puts a face in the video and calls for the outright pain and suffering to be posted or presented towards somebody like Barry Jordan, he knows that's illegal. And with a face in the video, he can be prosecuted for that. That's why he talks up a big storm about why he doesn't put his face in the video. He doesn't put his face in the video because he knows that with the face in the video, it's easy for the prosecutor to present a case against him. There is no other reason that his face is not in the video, other than that he may have his teeth out, because he doesn't have teeth. We all know that. He does not. He may have some dentures. He may have some dentures. He might even have caps, but that's not the reason his face is not in the video. It has nothing to do with his physical face. It has to do with the legalities in the Philippines. Now, I could tell you straight up and down, I have been in court with this man, and the prosecutor listened to his voice, absolutely 100% sure, listened to his voice with a video of his face in it, was certain that the voice matched the face, but the video that was used to prosecute him by the NBI agent and by the prosecutor did not have his face on it. So due to an unknown law that his high-ranking legal staff found, a loophole in the system, that you can only use the videos originally to build the case. There were 3. None of those had his face in it. We couldn't add a fourth video with his face. But when the prosecutor saw his face in a fourth video that we tried to add, the prosecutor was 100% sure it was his voice. And the prosecutor asked the creepy blogger of YouTube, "Is that your video?" And he said, "No, sir." "Is that your voice?" He said, "No, sir." "Is that your channel?" He said, "No, sir. I don't know whose channel that is." Now, the prosecutor knew he was lying, but couldn't say that because the law says no face, no case. That is why he hides his face, not because he wants to deflect and say, people want to hear my voice. People don't want to see my face. For whatever reason, it's not because of the way his face looks. It's not because his teeth are a little bit messed up. It's not because his dentures are in or his dentures are out. It's because legally he has more leverage to not be prosecuted when his face is not in the video. You could believe that? or not believe it, it makes no difference to me. Okay, so we have those 3 people I removed. Well, we have another person that was removed by Flying Circus. Thank you. We have another person that was removed by Flying Circus. We have another person that was removed by Flying Circus. We have another person that was removed by Flying... Another comment that was removed by Flying Circus. 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 Wow! Another channel that was removed by Flying Circus. Another comment by another channel that was removed from Flying Circus. Another channel with another name that was removed by Flying Circus. Flying Circus, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. And I'm gonna give you people a little piece of information about myself and Flying Circus. I'm not sure what his relationship is with other people, but I will tell you that Flying Circus and I have a pretty damn good working relationship with each other over the years, and more so than anybody else I know. And Flying Circus is actually a pretty cool guy in real life. Where he lives, what he does for a living, pictures of him growing up, where he grew up, pictures of his family, pictures of the past, of his relatives, pictures of the family outings, stuff like that. Flying Circus is a pretty well-rounded, knock-around type of guy. And although he's not just a character on YouTube that makes videos, he's actually a person that has what we call accolades and accomplishments in his life, and actually a person that has done manly things in his life, because he comes from the lineage, and I won't tell you what kind of lineage, of a manly... the men in his family had manly characters, or alpha male characters, as does Flying Circus. So Flying Circus is not just a YouTube blogger that makes funny videos. He may do crazy stuff like I do crazy stuff, but his persona, the reality of Flying Circus is he's a real man, in my opinion. And he deserves that much respect. In real life, I'm sure he gets that kind of respect. So thank you, Flying Circus, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, who I'm sure that you are going to enjoy the holidays with. And now we have... I got to put my glasses on. Skegness, Malfiosa, Skegness. I don't think Barry J is all that great, to be honest, Fazio. You seem to be right about the other stuff, though. Oh, come on, man. This is YouTube. We have to have a little fun here and there. But on the fact of whether or not Barry Jordan is great, Barry Jordan is a lot, and when I say a lot, smarter than what people want to give Barry Jordan credit for. He's a lot smarter than what people want to give him credit for. If you now notice how his channel is being built up and how he's working his channel, for whatever reason, he's a lot smarter when you listen, when he starts to put thought processes together. But one thing that you can visually and audibly hear about Barry Jordan is, listen. Now, I know this has nothing to do with blogging, but listen to Barry Jordan sing a song that's not... He's not looking at the words of the song. He's not looking at the screen of the song. He's not listening to the song. And he's singing the words to a song. And the song may have like a 5-second pause. And then he goes, and he starts the words, which would be the next part of a phrase of words that were going to appear in the next sentence. He hits it on cue every time, whether it's rap, whether it's country, whether it's hip hop. He has over 100 songs in his repertoire that he knows every single word and every innuendo of the words and every inflection of the words. That is not something that I don't know anybody else that can do that other than a professional musician. He has and now he's not listening to the song. He may just throw it on. He'll flip through some songs and see a song he likes and sing a portion of the song. You listen to the way the inflection of the voice, the audible tonation of the tones in the music. When the words are about to appear, he's already starting the words at that exact second, not 2 seconds before and not 2 seconds after, on the mark. So inside his head, his brain is compensating for a pause that may be 5 or 6 seconds long of a song that he hasn't heard for several months, and he hits it on cue. That is not normal. That is far above normal. That supersedes normal. Now, it might just be what some people, that his acuity for musical scores and words are superior to that of other people. Now, only recently I heard that he played, I think it was the drums and maybe the guitar. Only just this week I heard that. But that's besides the point. He throws on a song that he hasn't heard for months and sings it perfectly. So he can remember a song that he hasn't heard for several months and hit the words on cue. That's a superior mental intellect in that genre. But he also does that when he's talking and gets interrupted. And then when he comes back, he starts right where he left off. He does not lose track of where he is. Once in a while, he loses track because that man is aware of what he had on his mind. When he's in his blogging mode with no alcohol involved, he is right back into what he's doing. So his mental acuity is, in my opinion, much higher than almost anybody else on YouTube. Okay, so when I say the great Barry Jordan, I have my reasons for saying the great Barry Jordan. Not only that, he does have goals. He does talk honestly about his goals, but more importantly, what makes Barry Jordan, in my opinion, a better person than most is he does the best that he can do to tell you the actual truth from his heart in most cases. Okay, he does not tell you things that he doesn't know about that he knows about them. He won't make up a story to make believe that he knows about something that he doesn't know about. He'll just say, I have no understanding of that. That's a man that's not afraid of being ridiculed for lack of knowledge. That's a higher quality person than most people on YouTube. Most people on YouTube are not they're going to say, well, I forgot about that, or I don't remember everything there is. Barry just says, I have no knowledge of that. He's not afraid to show you that he doesn't know something. He's also not afraid to tell you what he thinks about other people. Okay, so, and he does so with great honesty. Now, whether you want to agree with him or not, that's your opinion. But when you see him go on a roll, when I say the great Barry Jordan, when he goes on a roll and he talks about 8 or 10 things that a particular blogger has done, whether or not you want to believe those things are true, whether or not they are true, The reality is those things have been posted on the internet. Whether they're true or not, that might be up to a court of law. But the things that Barry talks about have been posted on the internet, and I'm gonna give you what is called a caveat. Not all of the things that Barry Jordan believes is true. I'm going to tell you that right now. But there is no way for you or Barry or most people on the internet to know whether those things are true or not. And I could give you an example of what is and what is not true. For instance, there is a guy, a creepy blogger who has a creepy channel, who does creepy things, who says that I never owned an Ocean Racer. Now that's not true, but that's provable that I could show you the registration for the Ocean Racer. I could show you the registration for the Cobra, so I can prove my points. That same creepy blogger, creepy channel blogger, the creepy blogger on YouTube, he says I'm not an A&P jet mechanic. But I can prove otherwise. But I want to make a wager of $10,000 to prove that I am a licensed A&P jet mechanic. So what the creepy blogger does is he says, he twists it around that my brother is an A&P jet mechanic. My brother went to A&P jet mechanic school, and I stole my brother's glory. No. The truth is, I became an A&P jet mechanic, my power plant in 73 and my airframe in 74. And then my brother became a power plant jet mechanic in 74 and an airframe mechanic in 75. We are both A&P jet mechanics, but it is presented by the creepy blogger on YouTube as I am not an A&P jet mechanic, but I am, and I can prove it. I even have the license about 5 feet from where I'm standing in a photo album. But I want to wager somebody $10,000 that I'm an A&P jet mechanic. Why should I show it to you for nothing, being that it's been said I'm not? I am a licensed A&P jet mechanic. I did have a licensed excavation company. I did have a crane and barge marine excavation license. I did have a license to build bulkheads and decks and docks in New York City. I did have a landscaping license. I did have a bobcat and tree service license. I do have a business license for 3 different businesses in Key Largo and Florida. But so those things are true. So when Barry Jordan says something, to the best of his knowledge, he has seen those videos or those audio sound bites to make Barry believe those things are true. So he's only talking to you about what he believes to be true, because unless you have inside information, like myself and other people, you cannot disprove or prove what Barry Jordan is saying is true on some things. Now, when you get involved with the singing of the Mushroom Man song, that's provable. So Barry Jordan, on that song, in that genre, in that venue, Barry Jordan is not only 100% correct, but Barry Jordan is missing entire pieces of the truth that are about to come out publicly. That might be a different secret that I have in a different venue. Now, you've heard in the last few weeks, I have a secret. I have a legitimate secret. You don't get it. You people don't get it. If Michael Fazio says something, it's true. You could take my word for it, or you can wait on or before January 10th. You will see that the secret will become a reality. Now, pay attention very carefully, on or before January 10th, you will see that I actually have a secret. And this, my secret, is going to completely destroy. Now, when you use the word destroy, it means obliviate, destroy, raze to the ground a particular blogger's point of view and many of his so-called truths. He's going to look like one of the biggest fools that have ever entered into the YouTube genre. He's going to look like the biggest liar, the biggest fraud, the biggest clown, and the biggest joke in the Philippines vlogging genre. My secret will make that happen. Now, what you've heard for the last week is that I have a secret from me, and what you've heard from the Creepy Bloggers channel is that I don't have a secret, it's all hype. So when the secret is revealed, will it be all hype? And I'm preparing you mentally for a complete destruction of this Creepy Blogger's mental acuity as far as blogging is concerned. Nothing that he's ever said in regards to what I'm going to reveal as my secret, nothing that he has ever said is truthful. Nothing. So what is going to happen to him? Nothing. Not because of my secret per se. Not because of secret number one. Because of secret number two, something may very well happen legally to this Creepy Vlogger's channel and or the Creepy Vlogger himself. Legally, of course. But my secret number one, is going to destroy all the words he has said over the years. Annihilate them. He's going to be crushed, destroyed, razed to the ground. And that's what's going to happen. So I'm looking at it, I see Super Chat, and I have a pot. So what's next here? We have to bang a pot. I think I will do something very special for that. Let's go to my live show. And what happened here? What happened here? What happened here? Michael Fazio has a dream. Okay, I thought we lost this. I thought we lost the stream here. Oh my God!
I thought we lost.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I thought we lost.
Oh my God! 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 I thought we lost the stream. Oh my God! Oh my God! Yeah, baby. I'm missing that one over there. I got that one back in, a nice white one back there. Listen to this, baby. Watch this. Super Chat! We don't know who gave me the Super Chat, though. Hold on. Let me see what happened here. Going hard on him. Oh, we are going hard on him. Flying Circus. I might catch the Baron's 80 kills. The Bantayan Brawler. Now that guy, I don't know who that guy is. The Bantayan Brawler. I know that I think I am the originator of the name, the Bantayan Brawler. Salamat. Ha ha ha. Salamat. So one thing I want to talk about the Creepy Blogger is, in order to destroy the Creepy Blogger's reputation, it's not hard. If you were to listen to my next dissertation that I'm going to give you right now, what has the Creepy Blogger actually, let's just talk about physical work. The physical work that I have done since I've been on YouTube. and showed you pictures of decks and docks and bulkheads and me running cranes, backhoes, bobcats, pile driving units, fixing 900-pound bronze propellers, taking them off, lifting 60, 70-foot telephone poles with my crane, pile driving them in. I have shown you thousands of hours of actual physical work. And the Creepy Blogger and his Creepy Blogger channel, and all the creepy bloggers combined, have never showed you any physical work. Even last week, the Creepy Blogger said, I don't know where I get the energy from. What? To paint? To do what? To paint? Dude, I move around 10,000 pounds of materials in a day, and I let you watch me pick up 90-pound boards and carry them 25 feet from one place to another, then stack them, then clean them. And then the Creepy Blogger, if you pay attention, he has never, ever, not one time ever shown you any physical work that he has ever done. And yet he talks about how hard he works. That is because the Creepy Blogger has no physical ability to do physical work. Even when the Creepy Blogger said he was applying paint, you never saw the Creepy Blogger put paint on a brush and apply paint to anything. He just showed you a picture of a paint can and a paintbrush and said, boy, I got a lot of painting done today. But he never showed that to you. See, me, I show you physical work. I have 11,000 videos on YouTube showing you, in many of the videos, things I've built, construction companies that I've run, 15 or 20 men. If you see 15 or 20 men in one of my pictures, it's because they worked for me. The Creepy Blogger and his channel have nothing. Well, go to his channel. What does he show you as his forte as far as physical work is concerned? Nothing. And yet he talks about being more physically active and having done more physical work than Michael Fazio. It's a lie. Everything about the man's videos and his uploads is a lie. But now, something that he has been stuck on for years, multiple years, something that he has been stuck on for multiple years, talking about different subjects, but stuck in one type of venue. My secret is going to reveal that this man is a fraud. And then you can believe what you want at that point or not believe it, but it's going to happen, and it's going to happen in a way that can't be deniable. It's not going to be something that you could say, oh, Fazio ghosted this video by putting pictures in the video of things that he photoshopped. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be a real physical happening that the Creepy Blogger and his Creepy Blogger channel and everything that he has ever said is going to be nullified as a lie, a complete and utter fraud. And he won't regret it, because inside his head, he will deflect and he will come up with an excuse of why everything I said is not true. And he will come up with, inside his brain, an excuse that I have destroyed his world, I have crushed his ego, I will mentally nullify his mental acuity and his mental truthfulness or untruthfulness. I will prove that he is a liar, and yet he will come up with an excuse that inside his brain that I am somehow mistaken. So when I come up with secret number one, it's going to be something that he will argue the point but not be able to prove the point that he's arguing. When I come up with secret number two, that's not going to be arguable. It won't be me that's presenting the facts. Now, even if you notice, if you notice this week, let me sing a little bit more. So let me see. Now we have the Bantayan Brawler. Flying Circus, he's here. I might catch the Baron's 80 kills. LOL. Timothy, I don't care what you have to think. Canny Ford, who is Skip Skip? I have no idea who Skip Skip is. I don't know what's going on here. I didn't read any of the deleted message. I didn't read any of the deleted messages. I'm not going to read them. If one of my wrenches removes something, it's because it shouldn't be there. So we thank the Bantayan Brawler, which is an oxymoron in itself, because there is nobody on the island of Bantayan that is a brawler. So it's really an oxymoron. It was created as a lark, a joke, an atik lang, as we call it in the Philippines. The Bantayan Brawler is nothing more than a fictitious character inside the Bantayan Brawler's head. And that is why somebody's using the Bantayan Brawler to send me money, knowing that it probably disturbs the Bantayan Brawler's mindset. So thank you, Bantayan Brawler. Oh, Christmas is coming. Oh, for Christmas, what are we going to do for a Christmas special? You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something really, 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 really special for Christmas. I'm going to do something that's going to rock. That's going to rock your world. I'm going to do something that's going to rock your world for Christmas. I'm going to do something so outrageous for Christmas that you won't believe what I'm going to do for Christmas. You will say, that's impossible. Fazio could never accomplish that task. And yet, I had nothing to do with the task at hand. Nothing at all. It all just fell into my lap. Salamat. Bantayan Brawler makes me smile. Louis Pagan Ponce has been very good to me, as had Dennis Adams, as we all have seen. Scott Del Fuego is the man who got me to lose 11 inches off my chest and off my waist and put me on the carnivore diet. Blue Rose is the person who fixes my computers and has been a steady donator to my Patreon page for years. And let us not forget Spanky 9067, who's been my friend since the beginning of time. Spanky, I need to call you if you're listening. I have to share my secret with you. You and I have talked about this once before. Spanky 9067 has been a better friend than most, except I equalize everybody on my Patreon post. Nobody is better, nobody is less. Anybody that requires me to call them gets a phone call at the best time possible. This week I spoke with the Truth Lady, who does not comment on my page. She doesn't want to have anything to do with people that are in a rage. I spoke with the great Scott Del Fuego about his road trip across America. I've spoken with Dave Exline and his wife Agnes about their new business. I've spoken with multiple other people on my Patreon page. I spoke with Louis Pagan Ponce and told him my secret today. Louis Pagan Ponce laughed his buttocks off. He couldn't believe my secret is aloft. I thank all my subscribers and all my donators. And if you think I'm kidding and try to join my Patreon page, for less than a $200 initial investment, it won't happen. I will block you. That is the opposite that you've heard. Fazio is e-begging on his Patreon page. Let me tell you why the little creep channel gets everything wrong. It's because there's something not wired right inside his mental song. He says, I'm e-begging for money on my Patreon page. If that was the case, I would have lowered the entrance fee to my Patreon page. Now, I increased mandatory upon the request of entering my Patreon page that you donate $200. Otherwise, my Patreon page is private, and I will not allow you to come onto my Patreon page. I have private videos that I don't want people seeing. I have private things that I do in private that I don't want people to see. And if you want to see those things for $200 as an entrance fee to my Patreon page, you can come on my Patreon page and look. But I had 2 people sign up at the $50 range, one this 2 weeks ago, one last month, and when the money was due last month, they backed out. That's okay. But I let them stay on my page for a few days. So they got to data mine my page. So we'll hear the creep say, well, there's nothing on his page worthwhile. And yet, I have people on my Patreon page going on 3 years now that donate between $50 and $100 a month. They don't even watch my videos. They only want... Patreon is to help my channel grow or to help me buy electronics. So by me saying you cannot watch my Patreon page without a $200 one-time donation, I'm not e-begging. I'm actually removing people that don't really want to help my channel grow. And I don't care. It's okay that you don't become a member of my Patreon page. I don't care that you make comments on my YouTube channel. Just don't direct them at me and expect an answer unless you're a supporter of my channel in any way, shape, or form. Either you give me valuable information about something I can blog about, you help me with some type of construction knowledge that I'm not fully aware of, or you super chat, super sticker, or donate through PayPal. One of those things are beneficial to me. I will respond to your questions. Anything shy of that, that's what super chat is for. Go to YouTube, take a soundbite, and say, I will answer your questions if you send me a super chat or a super sticker. That's what they're for. That's what super stickers are for. That's what super chat is for. And as far as Patreon, no one even watches my new videos on Patreon. I've said this multiple times, so I'm not e-begging. I'm actually eliminating the time it takes for me to deal with the people on Patreon. Now, there's a photographer, a real photographer, on my Patreon page. He hasn't asked me for a phone call in 3 years, and yet he donates every month for 3 years. He's never asked me for anything. And as are many other people. They don't ask me for anything. They give on Patreon to keep me making videos. Otherwise, I would have to make videos for free. I would have to buy this phone that was 74,000 pesos. I'd have to buy this computer for 30,000 pesos. I'd have to take it out of my pocket. If you want to keep me going, and if you'll notice the creepy blogger. If you notice the creepy blogger, what does he blog with? He blogs with a potato with a lens on it. He's got about a 6,000 or 7,000 peso cell phone with some of the worst resolution, maybe 240. And he talks about people like me who are working on a 74,000 peso cell phone and a 30,000 peso computer. He talks about me not having the right to ask for assistance to buy my equipment. And yet, he tried to ask for assistance so that he could buy things, and no one donated. His biggest donation was $1 from Pennsylvania trucker. And that was an insult to him, instead of saying thank you. See, he tried to get people to donate to his channel. his vlogging, his content isn't worth $1. But mine, I keep you people interested with doing either crazy stuff or truthful stuff or working videos. What has the Creepy Vloggers channel ever shown you as far as work? This is a serious question. You ask yourself, stop right now. If you know who the Creepy Vlogger is, don't put it on my channel, but go to his channel and look to see what he has on his channel. He has nothing. There are no videos. There are no uploads. There's no playlists. There's no like videos. There's no associated channels. He's got nothing. And yet he calls his channel content. His channel is not content. His channel is garbage, in my opinion. But he goes on there relentlessly after quitting. Have you ever heard me say, I'm going to quit YouTube? Ever once. Never said it. Don't have any plans on quitting YouTube. He has said he's quit YouTube 100 times, and he's back every day. Now he's doing 2 and 3 videos a day and taking them down. All hateful, all videos that Barry Jordan, this is going to happen to Barry Jordan, that's going to happen to Barry Jordan, Barry Jordan's girlfriend. He showed Barry Jordan's girlfriend's children, which is against the RA codes. He does all of this stuff, then takes the video down because it's hard to prove that he posted the video in the first place, unless you have a method that is accepted by the NBI and the cybercrimes. Most of the information that you want to say is true and is true is not taken into consideration. This because he knows every trick in the book, because he paid top dollar lawyers to learn every trick in the book. So when he says he has content, he has no content. When he says he knows more about construction or has done more construction than me, go look for something on his channel that has anything to do with construction ever. In 5 years, nothing has ever appeared on his channel. You've never seen him pick up a chainsaw or a handsaw or even a paintbrush. You've never seen him with a power washer in his hand. Well, he power washed for about 30 seconds. If I was power washing something, you'd see 3 hours of power washing until the job was done. So he may have, well, he definitely hired somebody to do the power washing job. That's a fact. I could get that guy. Well, I couldn't get him to write a story about it, but I did get in touch with him, and he definitely power washed the roof. And the Creepy Channel blogger came up on the roof and held the pressure washer for 30 seconds and said he pressure washed the roof, although he admitted he had help. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So his help was actually the person doing the pressure washing, but he took credit for it. That's the only video you ever saw him do any physical work in. Other than that, me, I operate cranes, barges, tugboats, pilot barges, remove 600-pound, 900-pound propellers, repair crane engines, repair brakes on cranes, change cables on cranes, change backhoe pistons, same, change dump truck cylinder, lift pistons, change the tires, install trailer hitches on dump trucks. I do all of that, and yet this guy says he's done more construction than me. He even went so far as to show you a picture of him standing next to a railing in Alaska and with a boat in the background. That's the boat I worked on. We don't have any proof of that, which is what he does. I could take a picture of an Airbus 380 and say I'm the pilot of the Airbus 380. That's as much truth to me being the pilot of an Airbus 380, which is not true, as him working inside a fishing boat. And if he did ever work inside a fishing boat, I would say the foreman of the crew in the fishing boat would take a look at his work performance and say, you're not cut out for this kind of work. That's what I would guess. I can't prove it, but what I can prove is that he never worked in a fishing boat based on the pictures that he showed you of the fishing boat in the background saying he worked in the fishing boat. Where are pictures of you in the hold in the icebox moving frozen fish around. There are none. So theoretically, you never worked inside an icebox of a fishing boat. Everything he says is partially true, half true, or not true, but none of it's absolute truth. It's always fictitious this and fictitious that. So, to all of my subscribers, to all of the people that have supported me over the years, I will say thank you. And I will say thank you, seriously, thank you. You have, this year, I wouldn't say you paid for my cell phone yet, but you've come close to it. 74,000 pesos for a cell phone is $1,500. This year, I didn't even get half that money in donations and super chats. But it's okay. It's okay. So you people that do donate are at least trying to help me. So that's what Super Chat and that's what Super Stickers and that's what PayPal and Patreon is about. So this guy is jealous of Barry Jordan receiving a few dollars in Super Chats. Why? He says he's rich. Maybe now he is. Before he was not. Any story that you ever heard prior to a few weeks ago that he has this money and this money saved and that money saved, never been any proof of that. Not that he has to prove it. But when I wagered him $10,000, then he used the excuse that I didn't have $10,000 to wager. Then when I showed him $10,000 on the counter of the bank as a deposit, then he says, I'm not going to wager somebody that's crazy. So he changes the goalposts always because he's backtracking, always backing up, like he backed up to his paycheck his whole life. Thanks, Jack Thompson, for that little piece of information. He writes his name on the back of the check, never the front. That's what he is. He's not an alpha male. He's not even a beta male. He's borderline delta male. And when I say delta, I mean that, sarcastically. He's never shown you anything of an alpha male persona other than his mouth writing checks that his body can't keep. We all know this. We all know his mouth is writing checks his body can't keep. He wanted to fight Barry. Barry would tear him up. He wanted to fight Pinoy Troll. Pinoy Troll, no matter what his size is, I picture Pinoy Troll as a scrapper able to kick the guy's buttocks. Okay? He wanted to fight Roberto. He can't fight Roberto. Roberto was too big to fight. Okay? He wanted to fight Big Head Larry. He can't fight Big Head Larry. Big Head Larry, not only is Big Head Larry big, but he's young and strong. And he could probably take a punch. He wanted to fight Dave. Now, I don't know anything about Dave, but I don't think he could beat Dave. Just my own personal opinion. I just don't. He talked tough about Big Kevin. I know damn well he can't beat Big Kevin. This is all, this all goes under the heading of his body, his mouth is writing checks that his body can't keep. He wanted to come to my house and cold cock me if he didn't get the answers he liked. So what did I do? I challenged him to go into the ring with me in Cebu. And he won't do it. No matter how much money will be put down in the purse, I'll pay for the ring, I'll pay for the doctor, I'll pay for an ambulance in case somebody gets hurt. I'll pay for all of that, but he won't do it because his mouth is writing checks his body can't keep. Now, this is all true. Otherwise, he would have got into the ring with me and just go, and we find out what happens. It's an open forum. Anything can happen when you get into the ring. But he won't do that. Although he says multiple times how tough he is and shows you this martial arts move and how he can move his hands and do this and that. In a boxing ring, In a boxing ring, all that stuff is not allowed. Kicks and pulling people's eyes out and stuff like that. All that's just you and him and me and you and the gloves in the boxing ring, and he won't do that. He knows he won't do it because his ego won't let him in the ring to take a chance on winning or losing. His ego will not allow him to lose a fight. So he won't get involved in the fight for fear of losing the fight, which he already lost because he's in fear of losing the fight. So he already lost the fight without fighting because he's afraid to fight. So he lost the fight. He's not afraid of what he's going to do. He's afraid of losing the fight and losing face. This is what he does. He lies about how tough he is. Then when you take his challenge to find out how tough he is, then he makes up an excuse why he won't fight you. I'm too fat. Well, I'm not fat anymore. I don't have the money. Well, I do have the money. I'm crazy. He might have a point to some degree. I get in the ring with you, you're going to see crazy. Yeah, I get in the ring with you, you're going to see something else. You're going to see a prime time example of when someone says go, somebody going. This isn't going to be, we're not going to be talking in the ring. This is fight talk. We're going for whatever the goal is when you get into the ring with somebody, to take them down, to wrestle them, to fight them, to knock them out, whatever that talk is, all that shit ends when you climb into the ropes. He doesn't know that. He's never climbed into a ring. If he has, he's never talked about it. But that's all besides the point. The point is he was going to cold cock me, so I said, let's make it legal. Let's get into the ring. But he won't. But what more can I do? I can only ask him to get into a legitimate boxing ring with me, and I'll give him $10,000 if he wins. And he gives me $10,000 if he loses. Okay? It's not complicated. It's a simple man-to-man thing with a wager. One person got to lose. Of that, we're sure. Who it is, no one knows. No one knows. So right now, I see more Super Chat, which means I need water with lemon in it. And what does the little fella, what does he find fault with? He finds fault with me doing self-medication for my leg. He finds fault with me drinking too much water too fast. He finds fault with me having a buffet on one day a week as a treat for myself, which is 95% carnivore. He finds fault with me being alone in life and that I'm lonely. I've never been lonely, dude. Never. You know, a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, when I first moved to the Philippines, I woke up one day and I said, what the hell am I doing here? There's nothing to do here. So I got a hobby. I started swimming every day. And then that ended that gap in my life of the few minutes I was lonely. I said I filled it up with a hobby. He finds fault with that I wear my bandana. He calls me Tumor Head, Mr. Tumor, the tumor man. Do I have a tumor over my left eye? Do I really have a tumor? He finds fault with me wearing a bandana and then says I have a tumor, but I have no tumor. Wager me $10,000 you say I have a tumor, I say I don't. Let's go to the hospital. Let's look for a tumor. He finds fault with everybody. Pinoy Troll drinks too much. He talks about everybody's wife or girlfriend. He talks about, just to go through, this is what the little man does. And little man, not just little man in stature, but little man in mental acuity. He thinks he can get away with this stuff. And he thinks he's going to continue to get away with this stuff. And yet, he lives in total isolation from the rest of the world. Never do you see him interacting with other people. He will walk into a store, put something on the counter, buy it, and say, good afternoon, and walk out. He never interacts with the locals. He never interacts with the people at the fiesta that he went to. He doesn't interact with the people that go to his house for parties. No one talks to him. They ignore him while his girlfriend is doing Zumba. 6 other women in the yard, they don't even look at him when he walks through the yard. No one interacts with him. For whatever reason they have, I know that on a one-on-one basis, he's not an outgoing, personable person. He's an introvert. But he projects himself as an extrovert and a tough guy and Mr. Bravado himself, and he's none of those things. Again, where are his videos of him when he says, I've done more work than Fazio has ever done in his whole life. I did more work working on my house here than Fazio has done in his whole life. When I have built hundreds of kitchens, bathrooms, extensions, dog houses, dormers, finished basements, decks, docks, and bulkheads, hundreds of combined, and videos of all of the stuff I have done. And yet he has never showed you a picture of him even with a handsaw. And yet he says he's done more work than me. Because inside his head, there are things that don't work right. The wiring inside his head just is wrong. It doesn't work normally. Let me go find out who gave me that money. That's a big amount of money that someone gave me. So I see all kinds of comments. Louis Pagan Ponce. We weren't even done with the Bantallion Brawl, and then Louis Pagan Ponce. Happy Thanksgiving, Louis. Nostradamus or Nostrafazio. Hey, Mike, maybe the universe is trying to show you the future. Dreaming of a horsefly with big teeth. Was its IQ revealed to the great Nostrafazio? Actually, the horsefly that was on the Mayan calendar did have a little number next to it. Now that you mentioned it, Louis, was 32. I think that number represents the IQ of the horsefly. If you remember, the horsefly is jumping from chair to chair to chair to try to find the truth. And the truth is all evasive. The horsefly with the giant teeth cannot find the truth. But soon, as I stated, on or before January 10th of 2022, the horsefly will find a chair that stopped the music. The horsefly will land on the chair. The number will jump from 32 to 132, which is the best estimate of my IQ. 132 in that area. Anything I've ever tested, anybody that's ever known me has said that my IQ was around 132. I don't know if that's true or not. I tested at about 132 years ago. But it's just a test on the internet. But in reality, I'm a lot smarter than the average person. That's the truth. But when that IQ goes to 132, I have a vision. I have a vision. It's a hallucinogenic vision. I have a vision. When the IQ on the horsefly and the chair jump to 132, it means it's true. When the IQ goes to 132, it means it's true. And that chair, I know that chair. I know the music is going to stop. I know the horsefly is going to land on the chair where the music stops on or before January 10th, and the number's going to jump up to 132, which means it's true. Let's get the pot, baby. Now, also the creepy channel, he don't like when I bang a pot. Oh my God, no, he don't like that at all. You know what he doesn't like even more? Watch this. Let me show you what he doesn't like even more. I'm going to show you what he doesn't like. He doesn't like when I bang a pot. He doesn't believe anybody should give me money for banging a pot. And yet, this is an original idea. Bang a pot, make a lot. Fly-In Circus has a video. It works. Bang a pot, make a lot. It works. He bangs the pot, and there's money appears in the pot. But what the Creepy Bloggers channel doesn't like even more than me banging a pot is when I put the pot on my head and bang the pot. Oh my God, that drives him a lot crazy. Bang a pot on your head drives him a lot more crazy than the average banging a pot. So if I put this pot like this, he gets very upset. Very upset. But if I let the pot go down like this, if I put the pot in its most its happy position, the happy position of the pot on my head, and I go like this, not only do I go deaf, but that drives the Creepy Channel blogger's brain insane. So let's give him a little bit of sanity. I will hit the pot in reverse. Now you want me? Hold on a minute, I think my order's there. You think that was in forward, but it wasn't forward, it was reverse. No. I'm waiting for an order now, 15 days. Okay, so you thought I was banging the pot in forward. I was banging the pot in reverse. Because I have that ability, the uncanny ability to go forward or backwards on banging the pot. Now, right now, my ears, they're definitely ringing. There's no doubt about that. Four gulps, seven bubbles drives the little man crazy too. Everything pisses off the little guy, the little fella. He doesn't like the name little fella. He doesn't like the name little man. He doesn't like the name, although some people call him the creep, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like the name, or he's got so many names. He's got so many names. He has so many names. Why do you believe how many names that the Creepy Blogger has? Do you believe how many names he has? Probably has one of them is the skid mark, yeah? And the skid mark represents a stain in one's garments. Another one is hamhead. Okay, we all know who we're talking about. This isn't a secret. Hamhead. So we have an entire genre of Philippines bloggers. And each different blogger has a different name for the little fella. Why is that? Why do they not all have a name for me? Well, now, a couple of people don't like me, but what can they say about me? I'm crazy? Most creative people are a little different mentally. Not unstable crazy, just different. What makes them creative is their creative genius, and that makes them crazy to other people because they think outside the box. The little fella, he's just spiteful. He's not creative at all. The little fella, let me tell you something about the little fella. I use the word ladies and gentlemen. Not that I was the first person to use it. He uses the words ladies and gentlemen. I use the word, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you. And then he uses the words, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you. He has no creative intuition. If I use a catchphrase, he uses the catchphrase. He takes it as his own. He's allowed to use, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you. He can use those words. They're not my words. They're just words I said. But he never comes up with a valid new word phrase, except that today, his new catchphrase today was, I don't know why the yellow man is still alive and the people of the Philippines haven't attacked him, or why they haven't attacked him and hurt him physically. Is that creative? No, that's hateful. Because of all the blogs that I've ever done, goofing with the people in the Philippines, nobody has ever shown any anger or hatred. Some people show they don't know what I'm saying. Some people are confused, but no one has ever shown anger. And yet he portrays the people who I make laugh when I say I have taas, my nose is long. I am tambok. I'm telling people I am fat. I am fat. He gets upset that I make fun of myself being fat because there's something wrong with him in his head. He says, for years, he said, I came to the Philippines with no money and I'm broke and I'm e-begging. And for years, I've lived here. I've never been late on my visa application. I've never missed a payment on any rent I ever had anywhere. I've never missed a payment for my electric or my water. Ever. How am I broke if my entire amount of funds this year, on average, for Patreon and YouTube, were only a few $100s a month, and I was spending $450 a month on medicine? How am I broke if I still pay my rent and my electric? The little fella is mentally insecure, and he pushes that insecurity upon everybody else. Now, he may have enough money to pay his bills, and he keeps saying, if you're e-begging, you're not standing on your own 2 feet. But dude, this is the truth about making money on Super Chat, Super Stickers, Patreon, PayPal, or Western Union, as Barry does. The truth is, if people want to give you money because you provide them with a show, it's earned income. The truth is that the people who won't give him money are paying $100 a month for the internet service. They don't want to give him any money, but they may give me or Barry or Ruby Galars, they may give her money. Nobody deserves any money except him. He has no content. Everybody that gives other people. Look, I'm sitting here for hours now, an hour and 42 minutes. Which is the average length of a movie. You get a guy that has to go to the movie to watch a movie for an hour and 45 minutes. He's bored. He's bored. He's lonely. So he goes to watch a movie. Cost him $20. $14 to get in the movie, money for gas, money for popcorn, cost him $20. And you don't want to give some of the bloggers any money. That's your prerogative. Don't give them money. Don't expect them to answer your questions either. Okay, that's my prerogative. Don't expect me to kiss your butt because you come on and you want to see your name up on the screen saying, what's going on here? I owe you no explanation as to what's going on here. I don't have to. If you want to super chat me, that's what the super chat button is. I'll tell you what's going on here. But other than that, I have no obligation to anybody watching my channel. Got somebody like Flying Circus. To my knowledge, Flying Circus has never donated any money to my channel. Is he my friend? Yes, he's a better friend than most people that I'll ever meet on YouTube. Because Flying Circus and I have personal relationship between each other for years now. Okay, Flying Circus would also do something for me with a video, or find a video for me, or help me find a video where other people cannot or would not. Flying Circus and I have a friendly relationship back and forth. No money involved, and yet Flying Circus is my friend. Okay, there are different types of friendships in this world. The creepy bloggers of YouTube, they have no understanding of friendship. None whatsoever. They've never had a friend. They're never going to have a friend. They don't know what it's like to have a friend. Any semblance of a friend is based on something inside their brain, and it never lasts more than 2 weeks. So I still didn't finish banging the pot. I got into reverse banging of the pot. I got into putting the pot on my head. Because this is what the creepy channels, they say. He puts a pot on his head and bangs a pot. No, you're wrong. I bang a pot. I make a lot. Watch, see, watch this. I am banging a pot.